All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss real quick. I'm pretty busy today. I'm watching the weather. We got storms coming this week, so be safe. All right, this whole thing with the Summer Wells case, right? And all the, I'm telling you, these people are demonic. That is true. And what have Andrew and his son, uh, Hunter or whatever his name is, what did, here's the bottom line is the last people that were around her usually are suspect, right? That's just the way it goes. It's investigating 101. Then they look at family and friends and yada, yada, yada. What I believe is someone's covering something up or something. And that makes them part of it, right? Because they're trying to cover it up. No matter if it's their son or whatever, they're trying to cover it up. Uh, and the threats and everything, and his son's beating people up or whatever he's talking about. Real tough guys, right? Real tough guys. But the only toughness they got is this demonic stuff that they're into this black magic stuff or whatever. I wouldn't doubt it if they sacrificed the little girl or she had to go because one of them dudes uh, were doing something and she had to go, right? It makes more sense to me, or they sacrificed her or something. But this whole thing with Andrew and uh, his son Hunter or whatever his name is, uh, acting like punks, threatening people and everything, like he's some mafioso or something. It ain't working. It's not scaring me. It ain't working. Uh, they can continue to do their black magic or whatever and seances or whatever. And, it ain't working. And I think they all were into that stuff, even the family members. Uh, and their stories are not adding up. That's why they want to re-question Hunter uh, and Andrews. You know, saying that there's no way it's going to happen. No one's going to get to his kid. Yeah, what does it seem like to me? It sounds like something happened, and it did involve his son Hunter. And yeah, he's trying to protect his kid, but they got too much goods. The stories ain't adding up. Uh, and there's no way you could do anything, right? If the government wants his kid, they'll get his kid, and he ain't a kid no more. He's a grown adult, so you can't come to his rescue anymore, right? That's what a lot of people are telling Andrew. It's your son, yeah, but they want to re-question him, or this guy does, and the more you say no, 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 uh, the more they dig. You're making yourself and him look suspicious. Uh, and he might not have had anything to do with it. He might have said something that was a key thing that Chris McDowell or whatever his name is wants to go over again because it might have led to something else. He might be telling the truth. Who knows? But this whole thing, the way these people are acting, and what these people have been doing, and it's known that they are into this black art stuff or whatever. I wouldn't doubt it if that's what they've been attacking people with or whatever. They don't scare me, folks. None of these punks scare me. And I am the type of person where if I know you're abusing my family and doing bad things, I would react, handle it myself. And, I find it funny that he's uh, trying to pull like he's a tough guy. Um, it just ain't working with me. Uh, he's a punk, and he should be dealt with. And he's making it worse for him and his family. Right? My opinion. If Hunter had nothing to do with anything or any of these people, they would say, all right, no problem, Chris. Re-question me, whatever. But like I said, nothing's adding up. They put themselves into the case. Andrew injected him into the case, himself into the case. Um, and he was somebody with a background that shouldn't have opened his mouth or got involved in it. Now, I know I watched Ernie Shell say, Andrew is a total scumbag, yada, yada, yada. But there's nothing on his record for pedo. Well, we know that, right? There's nothing on his record yet for pedo or trafficking because, well, maybe he's never got caught. We don't know. All right, well, I'm Mr. Ernie Shell saying he's a complete dirtbag, scumbag, and real nut job or whatever. So a real nut job like should be taken off the street. And he's threatened so many people. They've been trolling people. They've been using this black arts, magic, witchery stuff. And that's only going to last so long until the Lord gets a hold of these people. And it's all going to come to an abrupt stop. Now, he wants to boot Scoop Boogie to another state or whatever. And no, he ain't going nowhere. We've seen this before, folks. We seen where he said, I'm moving, I'm out of here. And all he did was set up his computer and everything in a different room. He's been in the same place the whole time. Oh, yeah, we moved. We did this, we did that. He just moved his computer to a different part. He's been there the whole time. Idiots. Idiots. I have no idea who the dude is. But his whole channel, the Andrew Pandrew channel, was a dead giveaway of he's into the kitty stuff. The pandas, the whole bunch of rainbows and all kinds of stuff. And people were like, what the heck? And then he ran his mouth while he was traveling. He created his own mess, right? He took 19 people in a truck or something, and he created his own mess, trying to be a tough guy, trying to be somebody. And he created his own mess. And we're seeing a lot of these people that came to these people's rescue. Why? Because they're wrapped up into the shit. They're covering each other's backs. That's the only reason these people would have ran to Summer Wells's family. Why? Because one of them dudes were the dope man or the sex fiend or whatever, the one that was distributing supposedly this drugs or maybe even pedo tapes that they were making. And people are saying they were filming the whole thing in the basement. Who knows? Maybe. But are you telling me that these people came running to the Wells family to defend them just because, they were trying to do a good deed for their... No, folks, come on. Come on, folks. You think, come on, use your head. Use your head. But you don't. I don't know what it is. Let me tell you what it is. It's the magic, the sorcery, the witchery that these people are putting. We've seen this also in the Delphi case, right? People getting attacked that got too close, mysteriously, things happening, crazy stuff, people dying, people going crazy. This is the spell that they cast upon them, probably. And the same thing in the Summer Wells case. You get too close to something, whatever. If you take control of the case and you're onto something, what happens? These guys start attacking you. They send their trolls in and start attacking you, right? They all belong to a gang, folks. This cornbread mafia, right? Well, that's enough to have them all investigated. They all were friends. They all grew up, they didn't grow up together, but they all were in that area when all this happened. They all were on drugs massively. They all blamed it was the Mexican cartel. And we seen that in the Delphi case too, with a couple of these guys that were YouTube creators. It was the syndicate, it was the Mexican cartel, it was yada yada yada. Well, the cartel took Summer because Don owed him 50,000. That's the way they operate. Why would you even give your child to a drug dealer? Are you an idiot? It's obvious they are, and that's what drugs will do. They don't care. You don't care. You just need that fix, right? Now, them threatening us to keep their kids' mouths out of these YouTubers. I got a message for Don Wells, Candace Wells, Andrew, and all the rest of the people. You should have shut your mouths and stayed off of YouTube if you really were concerned about finding Summer, but you didn't. You didn't. You ran your mouths, and the only reason you ran your mouths was to cover up what you guys were into. You all knew the family. You all came to their rescue. Andrew, well, they mentioned your son. Well, because your son was there, and your son opened his mouth, right? Right. It makes sense to me, right? But now your kid is an adult. So well, you ain't going to get to your kid. Are you crazy? You must be, because now if you're hiding your kid and they do want to question him, well, now you're helping him evade the police and everything, and you will get charged. Well, I know we're dealing with corruption in this country right now, but the good guys are coming, and we are hiring new good guys. And eventually, it might not be 6 months from now, it might be a year from now, but the good guys are coming, and they are going to question you. And if you don't want to question them, that's fine with them. They'll lock you up, and they'll lock your kid up. And that's state law, bitch. So, you can act like a tough guy. You could put hits on us, which we know about that. Uh, you can use your black magic. We know about that. You could do all this stuff. You can hire these trolls to come into my chat and other people's chats and try and get info, try and get nude photos to blackmail us. You're a punk. Your whole family's a punk. You ain't got balls to do anything about it, but you're black magic and try and hire hitmen. You're a punk. You don't want to come up against us. I don't even think you want to come up against Ernie Shell. He'll stomp your ass. And I know you don't want none of me, punk. Right? Now we're looking at his channel and now who are coming to his rescue, which there's a couple people they're looking for that are endangering children. Why? Because they have a cookhouse and a drug house where there are children. That's why you're being investigated. And that's why some of these YouTubers are wrapped up into it and are very stupid to even be doing anything with drugs with a child in the house. But these people that live in different countries have different rules. So there's nothing you could do about that. But I can tell you this much: you're a bunch of punks. That's what I think. Cholos. Now, I know one thing for sure, that you have loyal fans on your channel, and they'll do anything to try and wreck anybody that gets too close to this case. And that's fine. That's fine. We operate underneath the radar, right? But I could tell you this much: We are diving really deep into this black magic, witchery, sorcery, and other things that we do believe is real, and they are using it, and we want to prosecute, and we want to go in, and we want to get them. Now, there's steps you need to take for this. And that's no problem. Now, what are we seeing in the Summer Wells case? We're seeing a lot of people that were delusional, drug induced, sex induced, and they were running their mouth about a mafia, the cornbread mafia. Well, that's enough to bring our agents in, ain't it? Well, what is that? Well, that's a RICO act. Why? Well, because it's a organized crime, drug cartel. So, what do we got? Well, we know these guys are connected to gangs and clubs, bikers, uh, gangs, uh, and even secret societies, right? So we know exactly what's going on. And it don't matter because someone has already declared war in this country against this very thing. So do I think any of them can do anything about it? No. No. No, they're all being watched. They all will be hit here pretty soon. Attacked or whatever you call it, taken down, police going in and swarming the place. And they're doing it here in this little town with these people here, and this witchery and sorcery that we got going on in this little town, and the trafficking that they're doing here, and the witchery and the sorcery. It's everywhere, folks. And do I think they're a bunch of punks? That's what I think. That's what I think. And like I said, Andrew and Hunter, you're punks. Ernie Shell would whoop the shit out of both of you with one hand tied behind his back. And I give him credit for that. He's a total idiot, but I give him credit for that. He'll stomp the shit out of both of you. You don't want none of us, Andrew, or your punk ass son, right? What did Hunter do that they want to talk to him? Well, Hunter drove the car a lot, right? Underage driving, right? What happened? I don't know. Did someone do something at the lake accidentally playing around and they had to cover it up? Maybe. Did they hire Hunter to do something that they couldn't do, that Candace couldn't do, that Don couldn't do? So they hired Hunter. It's very possible. We're not sure. And being that it's still an open case, you know, it's fair game. It's totally fair game. So for them to act like, hey, you can't say that, you can't do it, well, they just did. And they will continue to. And like I said, we know that this country is corrupter than a $2 whore. And that's why we're reloading and rehiring and bringing in new people, even from other countries. Trump ain't dumb. He knows it's corrupt. He's screaming out it's corrupt. People ain't getting justice. People ain't doing them. People ain't them. People. So what do? Well, you bring in other ones. Secretly, it's being done right now, and then it'll be put in place. And the good guys will eventually get to Hunter if they want him, or Andrew. Right? The whole thing that Andrew did with his channel, with all the kids stuff and all the pandas and all the, you know, he was looking for trouble. If he's not into that kind of stuff, then he was deliberately doing it to make people try and, do whatever, To me, it seemed kind of sick to me, with all the kiddie stuff. We all have kids, but our channels ain't a bunch of stuff of pandas and everything they use, signs of traffickers or whatever. We all got kids, right? And that's just the thing. You're stuck in a child's mind, right? In a child's mind. Why? Well, that's what traffickers do. They become a child to get close to a child, right? And then they snatch them or whatever, or abduct them, or do bad things or whatever. No, these are just my speculations, my theories. But we are looking at a handful of YouTubers, and we're not even looking at Ernie Shell anymore. We're not even looking at Ernie Shell anymore. It's these other YouTubers we're looking at. That this one YouTuber keeps coming to he thinks he's the almighty great YouTube Oz of YouTube, right? He thinks he's so smart. He thinks he's so powerful. He thinks he's so that he can do whatever he wants, and he'll come to the rescue of these people and yada yada. We've seen this in the Delphi case with a couple of these channels where they were claiming a lot of stuff, but in the end they weren't nothing. Right? It was a bunch of fake stuff. So what are they doing? I don't know. Eventually they will get to these guys. Okay. Yes, it is corrupt. And in order to defeat the corruption, you need new teams to come in. And that's what's happening. So we know it's corrupt. Should these people have been taken down a long time ago? Yes. Is there proof that they are a Potsy scheme, a scam, a drug cartel? And they're using this case or Summer Wells or whatever to try and distract people. And that's probably what I'm thinking too, is they ran to Don and Candace because either they were a supplier or they were totally innocent, and one of these YouTubers or a couple of them might have been the head honcho, and they were worried that Don and Candace would run their mouth. So they ran to, oh, don't worry about it. We're going to make you money. We're going to protect you. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't tell them about any. Blame the Mexicans. Blame the Mexican cartel. Blame the syndicate, right? We've seen that in the Delphi case. So these punks don't scare me. The Delphi people didn't scare me. Harmon family didn't scare me. And these guys, and they attacked us, yes. They poisoned us. They did a lot. It's a criminal enterprise in America. It is an enterprise. Organized crime. And sad to say, some of us YouTubers are left dangling in the wind because we're not associated with any of this. We're not associated with gangs, clubs, secret societies. So what happens to us that don't have affiliation? And 9 out of 10 times we end up dead or going crazy, or we dump everything and go in hiding until it cools off because they're attacking people. They're using their gangs that they belong to, their power. I mean, we've heard Andrew talk about that. We also heard Don talk with Candace, so mess with us. We're cornbread mafia. Numerous people. We've seen it all over the place with all these YouTubers. It's a criminal ring, organized, whatever you want to call it. And they made the government look like idiots, and that probably pissed the government off even more. Or they're being paid and protected by somebody to do this, which would be corrupt government officials and police and drug dealers. So they all got themselves in a ringer, and they can't stop it. They can't stop it, right? I believe they can't. There's nothing they can do. They brought it down upon themselves. They each one of these injected themselves into the case instead of just reporting on it, covering it. They literally injected themselves into the case. They went to the family's house. They all injected themselves in the case when they should have stayed away, but they ran to that family. Now, either that family knew something or they were helping cover something up. That's it. That's pretty much it. This whole thing with Andrew, well, my son, I've come to protect your son and all that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. No, I'm not buying it. Something fishy's going on. And I ain't buying the story. And no one, Andrew has no one to blame but himself. He came to the rescue. He came because they were, he injected himself into the case. He did that. He did that. His, claiming his son. Yeah, you got to talk about your son's an adult. He's not a 5-year-old kid. If he was a 5-year-old kid, then I can see that. A 13-year-old kid, yes. But now your kid is an adult and they want to re-question him. So you really can't do anything about it. You can talk tough. You can hide the kid. You can do whatever. But if it's on paper they want to talk to him, then what you are doing is helping him escape the police and authorities. Therefore, you will be charged. And that's what we're talking about in Senate, Congress, and government, is we are not doing what we should be doing. Yes, these people helped him escape when he was wanted. Yes, the government knew. Should charges have been brought up on them? Yes. Should their properties and homes have been taken from them? Yes. Especially when it's a murder of a young kid. Yes. And that's why things are not getting done the way they're getting done, is because we don't uphold the law like we used to, right? They go to someone's house. Hey, we're looking for this person. You know where he's at? No. But the whole time we're listening to them talk on the phone and so, what happened back in the day, they would pick up that person. You helped him escape the police. You didn't call us. You didn't do anything. We got data showing that you were communicating with him. You were helping him run from us. And what did they do back in the old days? They charged them people, and they lost everything they had because they were interfering with a murder case. And we don't do that no more. And that's why these people are on the run. How long did Ernie Shell run? Did the authorities know Ernie Shell was running and people were helping him? Yes. Yes, they knew. Could them people have been charged and lost their... They should have. It's different from stealing candy at a store and you're wanted and your family's helping you run or whatever. This was a murder case that involved many things: drugs, this cornbread mafia, and these people that were supposedly sickos and sleeping with young kids and drugging the kids so they can do sick stuff. That's totally different than stealing a piece of candy at the store, right? Morals. They don't have no morals anymore. Right? They don't have no integrity or whatever, right? Anymore. The government ain't even doing their job. So what do I think of the whole Summer Wells case? I think they corrupted it deliberately. All these people came running to the rescue. And the only reason I think is because it was either to cover something up or they were part of it. And that's the bottom line. I don't care if they're YouTube superstars. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they got tons of money. I really don't. And we're also looking into some of these people that do have tons of money and they were buying their way into the criminal case sector only to cover it up, only to pay them creators to protect them. Yeah, seriously, folks. It's a serious problem that's going to be happening in America. So, what's going to come out of this? Well, I can tell you what's going to come out of it. People are going to go to jail, folks. If not, they'll be hunted on the streets. They've threatened people. They've tried to kill people. They've tried to hire hitmen. Yeah, RICO. That's a RICO act. Well, how is it not a RICO act? You got these idiots on camera saying they belong to some cornbread mafia. You got Don Wells saying, oh, well, I owed money to a cartel, so they took the kid and gave me drugs until you got numerous things. You got a missing kid involved in all this crap. With what happened, I don't know. Probably they sacrificed. These people are demonic people. I'm telling you. I wouldn't doubt it if they used her, abused her, and then did some sacrificial thing and killed her or whatever. Who knows? But RICO Act, I don't know. Why even make these laws, Senate, Congress? Why when you're not using it? Don't worry. They're not. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? You got these idiots on camera talking that they belong to the cornbread mafia in the hills. You got $50,000 or $25,000, whatever he was talking about, worth of drugs. You got sex. All these people saying they were abusing the kids. You got Hunter saying Candace was supplying him with cigarettes and booze and stuff like that and sex. You got what is wrong with your country, Trump? Are you that blind or that corrupt by the devil himself? Well, I can guarantee you this much, folks. You ain't going to sell the citizens of the United States souls to any of your demonic demons or cartels. I hope you understand that. And we're going to be taking a change here in America because what is it? It's a three-party system. It's designed in case we have tyrants, terrorists, and dictators in our country. And you'll do things by the law and the rules. You want something done, you will go in front of Congress and Senate. And you will ask them, and they will vote, and they will talk it over. Then, if you want to go in to do something, then they give you the okay. Then you can. But see, you just don't break away and say, we're not going to do this no more. And Congress and Senate don't have a say no more and do anything. Abide by the rules. The same people that Trump said was no good, destroyed everything. Whenever they needed something done, what did they do? They went in front of Congress and Senate. And we ain't seeing that no more. Now, you can come kill me. I know I've already been hexed. I've been witched. I've been spelled. I've been... The Odins, the Masons, everybody has destroyed my family and stole everything I got. I'm poor, and I'm still happier than you folks. Why? Because I'm not that dumb to do something like that to somebody. Just to show your power. Well, your power doesn't scare me. These YouTube channels don't scare me. You're all gangbanging punks, connected maybe to the cartels, to to the mafias, whatever. You don't scare me. You're a bunch of punks. You always were punks. You're a bunch of pedo sickos. Why would you even set your channel up like that? Why would you even do the things you do and say? Why would you even show the ink on your body to try and scare people? Is just stupid to me. And why would you even be doing drugs or anything, a lab or anything in the house where your own children are? You're stupid. Very stupid. More stupider than me. And I have documentation to prove it. That I am stupid. According to the government. And that's fine with me. I dealt with it, overcame, adapted, and moved on. Now, you can't tell anybody to leave them kids' names out of their mouths because you put it on social media. Who you should be blaming, Don Wells, Candace Wells, is the people that told you to go on social media. Them are the people you should be going bonkers at. Because, truth be it, you should have shut your mouth like the government told you, and you should have stayed off of the internet. You didn't even have to stay off the internet. You just should have shut your mouth about the case. You didn't. You ran your mouths. Other people came in, and what you did was cause a big, giant ball of crap. And you're kicking yourselves in the butt now, I bet, for listening to them people that told you to go on social media. There's only one reason you went on social media, was because either the truth was coming out of what happened and you tried to divert it, or you tried to make a money grab and make money off of it. I know one thing. If the government came here and said one of your family members is dead and we believe he was killed, stay off the internet, or if you're going to be on the internet, don't talk about anything, I'd shut my mouth about it. Right? The government would tell you, if you run your mouth about it so you go to social media, you might tip off who they might be watching you, who's ever done this, and you might be tipping them off or something, or you might be giving them more excuse or something to run or hide or dump the kid body or whatever. I would have stayed off social media and I would have let the police handle it. Right? What are we seeing? We're seeing a lot of these people that have used social media, instead of keeping their mouth shut, like the police said, and let them do their investigation. We're seeing these people that are being charged. Yeah, pretty crazy if you ask me. I don't know. These people don't scare me. Quit threatening people that tell them to keep your son's name out of their mouth. You should have never. He should have never. Hunter should have never went on YouTube. He should have never said nothing. Kept his mouth shut. Andrew should have kept his mouth shut. And when people he should have said, I can't talk about it. That's it. Let's talk about something else. They injected themselves into the case. And not like a YouTube couch potato reporter. These people knew them. These people ran to their houses. These people injected themselves into the case. And I do believe the only reason is because they were bad people. And they wanted to make sure Candace and Don didn't flip out and mention their names or what they were into or what was really going on. That's what I think. I don't know. I could be wrong, but we all have our opinions, like elbows and butts. But I ain't buying the story. I ain't buying none of this crap on there. And for one, I would have never went to the thing, even if I was friends with them. Even if I was friends with Candace and Don Wells, and that happened, you wouldn't catch me around them. Why? Because it's an investigation, and I'm not dumb, right? The innocent would be sucked into it. You even went around them, the police would be watching everything they do. And they would want to know, well, who's that guy? He might be a trafficker. He might be the kingpin drug dealer or the pedo man. Or I wouldn't go anywhere, nowhere. No. The rule of the street, pretty much when I was growing up, if somebody was nabbed and they were being watched, you didn't go around them people. You stayed as far as way from them people as you could. Why? Well, because you didn't want to get sucked up into their madness. You feel bad for them. They're still friends, but you're not going to suck yourself into the investigation. Mafia does that too. Mafia, he's being watched and stuff, so don't no one talk to him or even go around him, right? And that's how they operate. That's just my opinion. I think they all made bad calls. The stories didn't add up. The government's connecting the dots. And they have this one huge mastermind that think he's the best lawyer around and the smartest guy. And really, him himself is involved in activities on YouTube, attacking people, trolling people, whatever, paying people. And if you ask me, they're all dumb. And they created their own mess. And that's pretty much all I have to say. No one else. They can blame, oh, you're talking about you caused it. No one caused these people's troubles except for themselves by claiming they were there. They knew exactly what happened. And that's what they went, that's what they did on their YouTube channel. Yeah, we know exactly what happened. That made them be injected into the case. They did it to themselves, no one else. No, that's just my opinion. Do I trust any of these people? No. Am I related to any of these people? No. Do I know any of these people? No. I ain't that dumb to be involved with something like that. I ain't that dumb to practice this black magic witchery stuff, sorcery, voodoo stuff. No, I know not of these people, and you wouldn't catch me around them probably. Now, you folks have a great day. Now, remember, we got storms around, so be safe. And don't let these people try and suck you down in hell with them. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Suck you folks in with them. And their channel, the people that are in their channels and chats, what are they? Well, if you ask me, being a couch potato investigator, suspects. They're helping, they're supporting him, and they're helping him. They could be belonging to a gang, a mafia, and that's their crew. It could be their helpers in trafficking the kids. It could be the drug suppliers, the drug dealers. It could be many things. I can tell you this much. They're probably all on a list. That's right. That's right. Even the creator can suck down and get the people that are around them sucked in to bad stuff. And that's why I tell people when these people are under investigation and they're on YouTube, don't go around them, right? And people get mad. What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't go. Well, they're watching him. They think he's a trafficker of children or he had something to do with the cover up or his son and stuff. That whole channel's being watched, that whole house, everything, the whole family. Don't go around them, right? Or they'll implicate you. They'll think you are part of the ring. You'll be questioned. You'll be watched. Your phones will be tapped. Yada yada yada. People think I'm dumb, and it's that ain't true. Oh, it is true. That's very true. You're the dumb ones that don't think it's true. You don't even have to be a drug dealer, a trafficker, or anything to be implicated in something and be around someone that is. You bet your butt you're on a list until the government figures out who you are and if you're involved in the case or not, or if you're dealing drugs. They might watch you for something else and I'm not no trafficker or pedo person. I have nothing to worry about. Well, no, you don't. But what we did notice as we were watching you is you're pushing a bunch of junk out of your house. So now we're going to watch you for the junk that you're moving out of your house. These people know nothing of investigation in government. See? No, you're not no pedo person. You're not a trafficker. We're not here for that. We're here for the cocaine and the meth and the pills you're pushing out of your house that we did find out you were doing while we were investigating to see if you were a trafficker of human children and some sick pedo person. You're not that, but you are a drug dealer. So turn around. And you have the right to remain silent. And anything you say will be used against you. And you folks are more stupider than the most stupid criminals. Yeah. And all you folks on there smoking on your cannabis on camera, you're stupid. Right? I know what you're saying. Well, it's legal. I mean, there's nothing you could do. No, there's nothing the state's going to do because it's legal in the state. But it's illegal with the federal government. So you can do whatever. You can scream all day on your way to the police station. You can't do this. It's legal to do in my state. It sure is. But federally, it's not. And now they got proof of you guys out there just smoking away your cannabis right on camera. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a difference between federal and state. I know you probably didn't learn that in school because you people are such idiots. But if the federal government wants to press charges against these idiots for smoking cannabis on camera and everything, yeah, they can. They can do that, even if it's legal in your state. Like I said, the state won't do anything, but the federal government will. Idiots, complete idiots. Oh. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless. Do I have anything against cannabis? No. Cannabis should be legal federally, but it ain't. So there's nothing I could do about it. If you're on camera smoking it, no, and you're rubbing it in people's, the federal government's face or what, yeah, they can come at you. And they can charge you. I don't know what, I have no idea. It might have been the biggest sting ever federally. These people just they don't know the laws. They think, well, it's legal in the state. It is. But it's not federally. And who's the one that'll bust your balls out of all of them more than anybody? is federal. So I don't know. Explain yourselves out of that one. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care if you smoke cannabis. Cannabis is saving people's lives. I think they should legalize it federally, but they haven't yet. So if you're out there rubbing it in the federal government's face on camera, well, there's nothing they can do to me. It's legal here. You're mistaken, and you piss off the wrong federal agent, and yeah, he can arrest you because it's not legal federally. If the federal government wanted to, they can go ahead and come into every state and take it over and say it's not legal. So therefore, you're all under arrest. We're not going after the small guy. We're going after the big guy, the guys that have all the money. Right? So, yeah, that's true. They can do that if they wanted to. There ain't nothing the state can do about it because it hasn't been passed federally. Once it's passed federally, then yeah. But until then, the federal government can come in and confiscate all these stores. And there ain't a dang thing you can do about it. They'll shut it down, confiscate everything. They're going to seize your bank accounts. And we'll go to court. You'll go to court maybe in 2-3 years. It'll go through court or whatever. Maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. Till then, your store shut down and they confiscated all your money. I'm getting attacked by one of these crazy satanic YouTuber people or whatever. Because that's all they can do. They're punks. They're sissies. They could not fight ever in their lives. I'll tell you right now, you unleash Ernie Shell on Andrew and his son. Ernie Shell whooped the shit out of his son and Andrew. I'm telling you now, Andrew, I'm giving you good advice. I'm telling you, you don't want none of the Shell, man. I know you don't want none of me. I'm a trained madman. I'll rip your ass up, punk. I'll literally tie you up in a knot with one move, bring you to the ground, and literally snap an arm within a minute. I'm letting the younger generation know right now. Get into wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, when you're in high school. That is the basis to get you started into martial arts. Most of the stuff that these guys are doing, a lot of it in the MMA, they have what? Wrestling background. What is wrestling? Wrestling in high school is grappling. Get into that. That will get you started how to bring someone to the ground and put them in an arm lock or a leg lock. And you'll snap a leg. You'll snap an arm. I've come close to doing it. And the referee has got to tap you. You know, in high school, putting an arm drag on someone or an arm lock on them, you'll snap an arm. Get into that first. That'll give you the basis of grappling, of wrestling. And then go from there into martial arts. Depending on what martial arts you take, that wrestling will help you within the martial arts. So I'm under attack right now by something demonic or evil or whatever, making me cough or whatever. They don't want me talking about stuff. Listen, folks, I'm going to give you the best advice I can. If you're in high school, get into wrestling, learn it. After that, take boxing. After that, go into martial arts to defend yourself. Martial artists have great training techniques, and they don't use it and go out and hurt. Martial arts and all this stuff is only for protection, to defend yourself. That's it. They don't go out on the street looking to just kick the crap out of anybody. They don't do that. It is only used for protection. Get into sports. That'll train your body, endurance, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, wrestling. Learn how to box, throw a punch. After that, do your martial arts, get into that, and then and most of all, get into a trade. Learn how to build, learn electricity, learn roofing, learn a trade that you can fall back on and make money. And some of these tradesmen, let me tell you, these guys make some good money. I know when I was in the trades, there was times I was bringing in, and this was years and years and years ago. I was bringing in big bucks, $15, $18 an hour back when I was in it. That was good money. That was good money. And the guys that were training me, them dudes were up at making $25, $30 an hour. Some more within the framing and stuff, they were bringing in big bucks, right? You'll make money in a trade. You'll also build your body. It'll keep you in shape, and you will make money. You'll make money in a trade, honest money, an honest living. So there you folks go. That's my opinion. They don't want none of the Ernie Shell, right? I'm going to give Ernie Shell credit where credit is due. All right. Ernie Shell is a small guy, and he can defend himself. That's all I'm going to say. Is he the toughest guy in the world? No. No, he's not. But I can guarantee you this much. He'll stomp the shit out of both of them dudes. Andrew and Hunter. So you don't want none of the Shell man, right? Even though he's sick right now and everything, I still think he'd probably stomp the shit out of him. You don't want none of that, dude. Do I know Ernie Shell? No. Do I even like him that much? I don't have no beef. I don't know the dude. Other than he talks a lot of crap. Who don't? We all do. We all do. But I'm going to give props where props are due. He can fight. He'll defend himself. I've seen his matches. He will fight. No doubt about it. Yes, bigger people than him. Yes. And that's all I'm saying about Ernie Shaw, because I don't know much than he's just a bullshitter. He's just a top-notch bullshitter. That's all. But if you think you're going to stomp the shit out of Ernie, even that he's sick right now and not in shape, I bet you he's still stomped the shit out of these dudes. I bet you he's still stomped the shit out of them dudes. And I hope it never comes to that. You don't want none of that. I don't want none, but I don't even want any of the Ernie Shell. I'm too old. I'm too old for this crap anymore. I'm broke down. Been too many fights. Been working way too long. Have hard labor, whatever, slave labor, whatever you call it. I'm broke down. I'm too old. I don't even want any of the Ernie Shell at my age. But I can guarantee you that much. You don't want none of the Shell. Mr. Andrew and Hunter. I don't know who's this Farrakhan guy. I have no idea, but I can tell you what, I bet you Ernie Shell stomped the shit out of all three of them. One at a time. We're not going to let them take on all three at once. One at a time. I bet you Ernie Shell stomped shit on him. Ernie's a bullshitter. He might be bad and stuff. He might have done very bad things, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. He'll stomp the shit out of them dudes. And that's about as much credit as I'm going to give Mr. Shell right now, is because it's all acting to me. To me, it's all acting. He's a great bullshitter, great storyteller, whatever. That's it. I don't know the guy personally. I got no beef with the dude, other than it's acting to me on this chat. It's like a battle back and forth. Am I going to do anything to these guys? No. Listen, I lost my whole world. There ain't no way I'm going to do anything to jeopardize what I got now, which I ain't got much. I'm poor, so I'm not gonna jeopardize that and go out looking for trouble. I'll voice my opinion. That's about it. But I ain't going looking for trouble. I ain't that dumb. I ain't gonna hurt somebody unless I'm defending myself. Right? So I ain't gonna do nothing to these idiots. There ain't no way I'm losing everything I got. And you're not going to pull, it's a scam, folks. They create the madness. They put everything out. They got a lawyer sitting in the wings. And as soon as you say something, what do all these people do? I'm going to sue you for slander. Well, it's public domain. You're on public YouTube. You're putting all this stuff out. Therefore, these people can give their opinions and say whatever they want because you put it on public thing. So there is no lawsuit. We're going to get you for slander or whatever. You can't. You put your record out there and you put all this stuff on social media, on your channel. And now all of a sudden you say, well, now we got them because I put all this stuff out. And once they start talking about me and giving their opinions, then we'll get them for slander. It's a scam. It's a racket. And maybe that's all these guys know how to do their whole life is create madness. People speak on it. Then they sue them. That's how they make their income. They ain't never worked a hard day in their lives. I'm not afraid of these people. These people want me to sit in my house and not do anything. I'm not afraid. If I have to, I'll walk around with a 12 gauge shotgun, a Glock, and you're not scaring me. We're hoping it pops off in America. Literally, the whole team is hoping it pops off. The whole team is hoping it pops off in America. These dudes are sleeping and they're dreaming about it popping off in America just so we can go after these people. They're hoping. You hear this government, Senate, Congress, Pentagon, Trump, they are hoping it pops off in America. They want some of these cartels. They want to get some of the cartel asses. They want to get some of these punks on YouTube's asses. They're hoping it pops off. They're hoping it pops off and they go to war with these clubs. They ain't joking. I don't know if Trump knows that. You got McPhee on there going, we just hope it pops off. And I agree with him 100%. Anyways, I don't know. I'm getting threatened. I got to keep my mouth shut or they're going to take everything away from me again. So I'm going to be dumping the channel. For a while, I'm not going to be doing anything on this channel. I'm going to go to my other channels, start doing some stuff. It's acting. What am I doing? I'm acting. Did any of these people say it? No. Is there any team? No. Is there anything? No. It's all acting. We all know it. It's acting. I'm not going to do nothing to these people. I ain't going to their houses. I ain't going to do what they did with Summerwell's case. They all ran to Don Wells's house. They all ran to his house. No, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going around anybody. I'm staying home. It's safer at home where I could defend myself. Someone comes pounding in trying to come in. I can drop them legally. Right? No charges or nothing. I'm not going anywhere. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't that dumb. And you'll think differently once you work your whole life and you get scammed out of everything and they rip you off or whatever and they use you. Once you lose everything, you work so hard to get and you lose it. And you got to file bankruptcy and everything. Then you start thinking different. And I ain't going out. Listen, they offered me a lot of money to do a lot of stuff and I turned it down. I am the dude that they made a mistake at the bank and dumped a pile of money on me and I gave it back because it wasn't mine. And in the back of my head, I know they're little tricks. That could have been a setup, right? They dump a pile of money in my lap. I drive away, not saying anything, but I'm not dumb. They got cameras. They know exactly who was at that bank, what time, and what time the mistake happened. And all they would have to do is look at the cameras and see, oh, well, one of these people got a buttload of money that they shouldn't have. Well, I returned the money. I'm not dumb. I mean, I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb. Now, you folks have a great day. We're at 1 hour. I'm going to end this video. You know, they don't scare me. It's just all acting. It's like me. Am I going to hurt? I'm like a teddy bear. I don't hurt people deliberately. I'm like a teddy bear. Yeah, I talk tough. Can I defend myself? Oh, I will defend myself. Well, I will defend myself. It gets very ugly because when I go into a fight, I think they're going to kill me. So I go in defense mode, and you might have to kill somebody. You might have to bang their head off with concrete. You might have to do things. You might have to poke an eyeball out and chew on it, right? As they're laying on the ground, and you tell them, "Hey, look what you made me do," as you're eating an eyeball. You got to get crazy on the street. I know we wish we didn't have to do this, but it's the world. When we don't have America is not what it used to be. Now you folks have a great day. Oh, I got someone that popped up in my chat. Shadow Combat. All Debbie does is fart. Oh my God. Shadow Combat. She's a human. She's gonna fart. I fart all the time too. Right? It's all right. Now you folks have a great night. God bless. I'll be back. I got a bunch of bills I got to pay today. Have a good day.